It was a quiet morning at Rosewood General Hospital. The sun filtered through the tall glass windows, filling the maternity ward with golden light. Nurses moved softly through the corridors, their shoes whispering against the tiled floor. Inside room 312, Emma sat up in bed, her hands resting protectively on her swollen belly. At 8 months pregnant, she had learned to live carefully, physically and emotionally. Her husband, Daniel, was a successful businessman. He was charming, generous, and deeply loved by Emma. But lately, Daniel had been distant. Late nights, unanswered calls, and strange perfume on his clothes had left her heart heavy. Emma tried to believe it was just work stress, until that morning, when she saw her husband's mistress standing at the door of her hospital. The woman, Sophie, was tall, beautiful, and furious. Her high heels clicked sharply as she marched into the room. "So this is the woman you ruined my life for," Sophie hissed, glaring at Emma. Emma's heart pounded. I don't know what you mean." "Oh, don't play innocent," Sophie shouted, her eyes blazing. "Daniel promised me he'd leave you. He said you were cold, that he only stayed for the baby. And now you're here, acting like a saint." Emma froze. Every word felt like a dagger. "Daniel told you that?" Before she could respond further, Sophie grabbed a vase from the bedside table and threw it. It shattered on the floor, startling Emma. The nurse rushed in, shouting, "Security! Security!" But before anyone could reach her, Sophie lunged at Emma, pushing her back against the hospital bed. Emma screamed, clutching her stomach. "My baby! Please, stop!" Nurses pulled Sophie away as Emma cried out in pain. Her vision blurred, the sound of chaos fading as darkness closed in. When Emma woke up, she was in the operating room. Bright lights, voices, beeping machines. "Stay with us, Emma," a doctor said urgently. "We're taking care of your baby." Her baby. That was all she could think of. Hours later, when she regained consciousness, a nurse whispered, "Congratulations, Mrs. Bennett. You have a healthy baby girl." Tears filled Emma's eyes. She reached out weakly. Can I see her?" The nurse placed the tiny baby in her arms. Emma looked down at her daughter. Soft skin, tiny fingers, peaceful breathing, and whispered, "You're my miracle, little one." But even as joy filled her heart, a deep pain lingered. Daniel wasn't there. The father of her child hadn't shown up during the chaos. Days passed, and Daniel never came. Emma called him repeatedly, but the calls went unanswered. Then, one morning, the hospital social worker entered with serious eyes. "Mrs. Bennett, there's something you need to know. Your husband was arrested." Emma's heart stopped. "What? Why?" "He tried to stop the police from arresting the woman who attacked you. He claimed she was mentally unstable and begged them to let her go." Emma couldn't believe it. "He defended her?" "Yes. And when they wouldn't, he threatened one of the officers. He's been detained since." The truth crashed over her like a storm. Daniel wasn't just unfaithful, he had chosen his mistress over his wife and child. For days, Emma sat silently beside her baby's crib, tears falling on her trembling hands. But then, something inside her shifted. She looked at her newborn daughter, so innocent, so pure, and made a vow. "I won't let pain define us. We'll rise above this, my little one. You'll grow up surrounded by love." Weeks later, Emma was discharged from the hospital. With no family nearby and no husband, she moved into a small apartment on the quiet side of town. Life was difficult. She worked as a part-time receptionist at a community center, struggling to pay rent and buy baby formula. One day, as she sat on a park bench feeding her baby, an old man approached. He wore a kind smile and carried a bouquet of daisies. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" he said softly. Emma nodded politely. "Yes, sir, it is." He sat beside her, glancing at the baby. "What's her name?" "Lily," Emma replied with a small smile. The man's eyes softened. "A lovely name. My daughter used to love lilies." They talked for a while. His name was Mr. Harris, a retired teacher who volunteered at the community library. There was something gentle about him, like he carried the weight of many years, but never lost his kindness. From that day, he often met Emma and Lily at the park. He brought books, small gifts, and even helped babysit when Emma worked late. To Emma, he became a father figure she never had. But what she didn't know was that Mr. Harris had a secret too. One evening, Emma saw a news report that made her freeze. It was about Sophie, the woman who attacked her. She had been released on bail and was now in rehabilitation. The reporter mentioned something strange. Sophie grew up in foster care. Her records showed she was abandoned as a baby and never knew her real parents. Emma's mind flashed to Mr. Harris' words, "My daughter used to love lilies." A chill ran down her spine. Could it be? The next day, she asked him directly, "Mr. Harris, did you ever lose a child?" He sighed deeply, his eyes distant. "Yes, many years ago. My wife died during childbirth. The baby was taken by her family while I was recovering from an accident. I searched for her for years, but they told me she didn't survive." Emma's heart raced. "Do you remember her birth date?" He whispered it. It matched Sophie's. Emma covered her mouth in shock. "Oh my God, Mr. Harris, I think your daughter is alive." Emma contacted the rehabilitation center and arranged a meeting. When Sophie walked in, she looked fragile, nothing like the furious woman from the hospital. Her eyes were hollow, her shoulders tense. Emma stood up nervously. "Sophie, I'm not here to fight. I just want to tell you something." Sophie frowned. "What could you possibly have to say to me?" Emma took a deep breath. "I met someone, a man named Mr. Harris. I think he's your father." Sophie's expression crumbled. "That's impossible. My records said he died." "He's alive," Emma said gently. "He never stopped looking for you." Sophie's hands trembled. Tears filled her eyes. "He looked for me." "Yes," Emma whispered. "And he's the kindest man I've ever met. He saved me when I had no one." For a moment, Sophie just stood there, crying silently. Then she whispered, "Can I see him?" That afternoon, Emma took Sophie to the park. Mr. Harris was sitting on his usual bench, reading. When he looked up and saw Sophie, the book fell from his hands. He stood slowly, his eyes glistening. "It can't be," Sophie whispered. "Dad." He rushed forward and pulled her into his arms. Both of them cried uncontrollably, the years of pain and loss melting away in that single embrace. Emma stood aside, tears streaming down her own cheeks. When they finally sat down, Sophie turned to her. "Emma, I don't know how to say sorry. I was angry, broken, and jealous. You didn't deserve what I did." Emma smiled softly. "We both went through pain. But we can choose kindness now." She reached out and took Sophie's hand. "You're forgiven." Months passed, and life began to bloom again. Emma found a stable job at a publishing house. Sophie, with her father's support, finished rehab and started volunteering at the same hospital where she once caused harm. Mr. Harris spent his days surrounded by both women, his lost daughter and the young mother he had come to see as family. Little Lily adored her, Grandpa Harris, always running to his arms with laughter. One spring afternoon, they gathered at the park for a small picnic. Sophie brought flowers, Emma baked cookies, and Lily chased butterflies. As the sun set, Sophie turned to Emma. "You changed my life. If you hadn't forgiven me, I'd still be lost." Emma smiled. "You just needed someone to believe in you." Mr. Harris placed a hand on both their shoulders. "Kindness saved us all." 5 years later, Emma opened a small bookstore cafe named Lily and Grace. It became a community haven, a place where kindness lived in every corner. Sophie managed the hospital's outreach program, helping women in crisis. She often spoke publicly about forgiveness and second chances. And Mr. Harris, now an old man with silver hair and a proud smile, sat by the cafe window every morning, reading stories to Lily. The three of them, once broken by betrayal and pain, had become a family born not of blood, but of compassion.